And we're back.
All right, another episode of the Road to Code.
So, I am Victor. I am one of the co-hosts.
And I'm John.
And I am Gerard.
Jonathan,
Yeah.
let's talk about Patreon.
Oh, yeah. If you would like to support us, you can show us by subscribing to or becoming one of our patrons on Patreon. So we have different tiers, and it's the Patreon or patreon.com/the road to code. Tier 1, we have $5 a month, and you get a free Road to Code mug. And you also get early notification of our YouTube video launches, and also a yearly postcard expressing our gratitude, our appreciation. And tier 2 is $8 a month, and you get everything from tier 1. And also, you get to be invited to be a co-host on every quarter and get to talk about technology.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
And tier 3, you get everything from tier 1 and 2, and then access to our raw video footage, where we pick out some of the bloopers, blunders, and funny moments, and maybe even find some hidden gems.
Yeah, very cool.
Hell yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Gerard, what are we talking about in today's Linux episode?
We will be talking about exposing hidden SSIDs.
Yeah. So we're going through a series of videos where we're going to be talking about how insecure Wi-Fis are. You know, everybody at home puts this super secure magic pony password on their Wi-Fis, you know, and they do a few extra things to make them secure, but we're going to expose how insecure they are. And we're going to go through a whole series of videos of what people do to try to secure their Wi-Fi and how those vulnerabilities can be exploited. And at the very end, we're going to go through and actually help you secure your Wi-Fi a lot better by showing you the vulnerabilities. So we're going to help you do that. We do want to do a precautionary measure and some advisement. Gerard, you want to go through that one?
Of course, we want to caution everyone that what we're about to do is on our own isolated network. This is considered white hat hacking. We don't want to step out of line by stepping beyond those boundaries. Nothing good is going to happen if you do step out of those boundaries. And please don't do it unless you have to, or unless you have your own isolated network.
Yeah, either your isolated network or you have, you know, the consent, and I would get it in writing, you know, from who's ever allowing you to do it on their network. Because yeah, this stuff is just it can be used for malicious stuff, and we're not showing you for the malicious purpose. We're showing you so that you can protect yourself from insecure home Wi-Fi networks. That's really what this is about. So yeah, so let's stay on the good side of things. All right.
Peace.
So for this episode, Gerard, what is it that we're going to be doing exactly?
So we are going to be discovering access points that don't broadcast their SSIDs. So for the normal Wi-Fi consumer that doesn't know any better, that seems like a great idea, but it's security by obscurity, which is not security.
Yeah, let's take a moment. Let's talk about what is an SSID. Like if I come over to your house and I want to connect to your Wi-Fi, how does the SSID help me connect to your Wi-Fi?
That's just the name of the Wi-Fi, basically.
That's going to come up in the list, right? Of
Yeah.
the Wi-Fis that are around me.
Yep.
And obviously I want to pick the one that you tell me because that's the password that you have.
Yeah.
You'll have the password for that specific Wi-Fi that's broadcasting that SSID.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, hey, which one's your Wi-Fi? And you'll say, yeah, it's the one called cell spot. And I was like, all right, cool. I'll select it. It's going to say enter the password, right? And then you'll give me the password. It's capital P, password 1 exclamation point. I was like, yeah, that seems pretty secure. And and
watch it be one of the viewers' passwords.
You'd be like, wait, that's my secret password.
it's like everybody uses just password, but if you add a 1 and you capitalize the P and then you end it with an exclamation, it's like it's totally secured, you know?
Super secure.
Super secure. Yeah. So okay, so then so the SSID is just the name of the Wi-Fi that's being broadcasted, so that when you open up your device and he's like, hey, which one is it? Oh yeah, there it is. Boom, and you connect to it. That is the SSID. So what you're telling me is that by me not broadcasting that SSID, you're saying that I am not secured.
Exactly.
But if nobody sees it, nobody can access it.
If there's a will, there's a way.
I see where you're going with this. So for your, like you said, right, for your normal Wi-Fi consumer, this probably works out great if you just don't want people trying to connect to your Wi-Fi. But if somebody really wants to connect to your Wi-Fi,
oh, they will.
They can expose your Wi-Fi. They can expose the hidden SSID, one that you're not broadcasting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is your Windows machine, and you are SSHing into the Kali Linux machine. And the reason we did this is because we can actually open up multiple terminals using PuTTY, so that we can look at different windows and see what's going on within the Kali machine itself. Very nice. So both your Windows machine and the Kali machine are hooked up to your main router, right? This is the one that's connected directly to the internet.
Yeah.
And your phone is connected to our laboratory, which is a router we called the Road to Code.
Correct.
We should have called it the Road to Nowhere. It's really not going to go anywhere. But okay, so we called it the Road to Code. So your phone's going to connect wirelessly to there. However, the SSID is not being broadcasted on that particular Wi-Fi. And so using your Wi-Fi, like you're going to connect to a different Wi-Fi, can you show us what's being broadcasted right now so that we can see that the Road to Code is not there? So you're connected to the cell spot, and
which is mine.
Yeah, and let's go down the list. And we don't want to touch any of these. We just want to demonstrate that the Road to Code is not on there. So now what you could do is you can go and connect directly to it by saying add network. So you can physically type it in there.
Don't look.
Super secret.
Super secret password. What's funny is that every letter, every character is shown on the screen.
I know, I turn around.
And you're now connected to the Road to Code. And let's just do a quick speed test. Open up your browser and make sure that we are on the internet.
Super fast.
Very nice. Okay, so we're connected. Everything's good.
Super fast.
Super fine. Very cool. All right. We can go ahead and disconnect your phone. And
Okay.
let's go back and connect to Kali Linux.
First thing we are going to do will be displaying the wireless adapters that it can use.
Very cool. And
So-
we do that with what command?
Sumo.
Sumo.
Sudo.
I mean, sudo.
Airmon. Dash. Wait, what the? Why is it not going? Hello. Oh, it's inactive.
Inactive. Yeah, you gotta you're gonna have to close this window and reconnect because with you switching Wi-Fi networks, it probably disconnected you.
You are right.
That's a pretty cool background you got going on there.
Your background is out of this world.
All of them are.
It's like the moon with the Saturn rings.
Yeah.
Appearance 18-point font. Apply.
Oh,
All right.
that's so cool.
There we go. Sudo. We'll display all the, oh my gosh.
So this is gonna display your network adapters.
Yes.
Okay, so you have one wireless network adapter and the interface is called WLAN 0 because there's only one, so it always starts with the 0. Very cool. What's next?
Sudo airmon -g start WLAN.
So what is this command going to do?
Turn on our wireless adapter.
Okay, so it's going to automatically kill it so that you can go ahead and continue. Yeah, click on yes. Oh,
Nice.
so sudo airmon ng start WLAN 0. This particular command, basically what it does, it turns your Wi-Fi adapter. So normally your Wi-Fi adapter on your laptop is used to connect to a Wi-Fi network. But what we're going to do is we're going to use it in what they call a promiscuous mode. And it's just going to monitor the airwaves. Essentially is what it's going to do. It's not going to try to connect anywhere. All it's going to do is just gather airwave information.
Whoa.
So it's called a promiscuous mode that we've got it in. All right. What do we got next?
Should we do a sudo airmon ng again?
Yeah, this way we can see, this time we can see what the adapters are looking like. So you notice that it went from a WLAN 0 to a WLAN 0 mon, which means now it's just monitoring the airwaves. It's not going to try to connect. It's just going to go and gather information.
Uh-huh.
Kind of cool.
That's crazy.
It really is.
This is definitely hacking right now.
We are in the weeds of hacking. We definitely are. All right. What do we got next?
Once we can narrow down the wireless router, we'll narrow down the listening with the sudo airmon -ng -c 1.
Well, hang on. I think what we need to do is we need to do the air dump. So remember, right now, the Wi-Fi adapter on the laptop is monitoring, right?
Uh-huh.
But we haven't asked it to give us any information yet.
Oh, okay.
But now we gotta ask it to give us information, and we do that with the air dump.
Is there an O in there?
Arrow dump, yes. It'll be sudo arrow dump -ng space wlan 0mon. Oh.
Oh man.
So essentially what this is doing is just monitoring the airways. We're not breaking into anybody. All we're doing is just monitoring the airways. Okay.
Wow.
We're not doing anything bad.
Look, there's my Wi-Fi.
There's your cell spot, exactly.
Yeah.
Because all these Wi-Fis are broadcasting their name. They say, hey, if anybody wants to connect, here I am. My name is so-and-so, come and connect, you know? All we need is your password. Is give me the password and you'll be in, right? It's almost like going to one of those, what are those prohibition gatherings where you got to go to the door and you got to say a password like,
Oh yeah.
Where can I
It's-
find 2 egg white omelets? You know?
The speakeasies.
The speakeasies, exactly, you know, and they'll say, come right this way. This is where you can write, this is where you can find the egg white omelet. So the ones that are not broadcasting, or so they think they're not broadcasting, are the ones that say length 0, length 13. See that where it says length
Oh yeah.
out of the ankle brackets? And those are the ones that don't think that they're broadcasting, but unfortunately, they are broadcasting because over on the left, you see what is a MAC address, the ones that start with these 2 digits, colon, 2 digits, colon, 2 digits. Those are all MAC addresses, you know? Now, we want to be safe about this. We have the MAC address from it in our show notes. If you would hit, I believe it's Q. Is it Q? And if Q doesn't work, then you can do a Control C. Okay, so this freezes the screen.
Q worked.
You push Q again to quit.
Yeah, I did.
Can you point out the MAC address to our laboratory router?
This one right here.
Okay, go ahead and highlight it. Okay, cool. So that link 13 happens to be the road to code. Okay. Now, again, most devices will not display an empty SSID. You just get the length of the name of it, but you don't get the actual name. So the devices are trained to not display those. This is why it's not secured, because you're still broadcasting what they call a MAC address. So a MAC address happens to be the address that is given to your network device. So every single network device out in the world has a MAC address. It's a unique MAC address. It's a machine number that has been assigned to your device. So every cell phone has it, every computer has it, every network connection. So in the case of the Kali laptop, that has 2 MAC addresses, one for the hardwire and one for the wireless. So it's going to have 2 different MAC addresses. In the case of the road to code router, our little laboratory, it also has 2 MAC addresses, one for the 2.4 gigahertz and one for the 5 gigahertz broadcast. And those are, so everyone has MAC addresses, and that's essentially what is being used to communicate and broadcast information is based on those MAC addresses. So it's a little bit obscure, but security by obscurity is not security.
Nope.
Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to expose that particular SSID. So let's go ahead and up arrow and fire up that monitoring again. And keep in mind that we're going to keep an eye on the MAC address that starts with EO and ends with 40, which happens to be the third one on the list right now. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, the road to code.
Oh,
It came up.
there it is.
Why do you suppose that all of a sudden it showed up? Even though we're not broadcasting the address, why do you suppose that it came up?
I don't know.
All right. Let's go ahead and stop to do Control C, and let's go ahead and stop it, and let's fire it back up, and let's see if it doesn't pick it up again.
Oops.
Okay, so there it is, link 13. It's not there.
Oh.
It's what is it?
Yeah, it's right here.
It's right there. Okay,
Right, there it is. Top one.
cool. So right now it's not broadcasting it. What we want to do is we want to go and expose our broadcasts. So there's a command. There is a command called AirPlay. AirPlay is going to send what they call a de-authentication attack. In other words, anyone who is connected to that MAC address, we're going to go and send a message to all those machines, and it should only be one. It should only be your phone right now. We're going to send a de-authentication message and say, hey, you need to de-authenticate and re-authenticate to the router. Let's go ahead and run that command, and let's see if the MAC address. So let's open up a new. No, go ahead and launch launch this.
Oops. Keep pushing that enter button.
Yeah, and let's open up a new session. And in this session, let's go ahead and shrink the window down a little bit. Just grab the top and drag it down so that we can see the back window. Cool. We want to see that link 13 turn into the
road to code.
road to code. So let's go ahead and send that de-authentication attack to anyone connected to that particular MAC address. And again, we're going to assume that we don't know the SSID. So all we're doing is just like, hey, if you're connected to this particular MAC address, de-authenticate yourself, re-authenticate, and then you can connect again.
Insert MAC address. Oh,
And then we're going to send a message on the monitoring wireless adapter. And so when you go ahead and press enter, it's going to ask your phone, go and de-authenticate yourself and re-authenticate. And we're going to explain to you what is happening at the moment that you do that. Go ahead and bring that back window forward. It still hasn't done it, huh? Let's do let's go up arrow on that second window.
This one?
Yeah, that one that's right. Change that 2 to a 0. We're just gonna go ahead and do a bunch of them. We're gonna flood the network with that MAC address. And we're gonna say, just keep on doing it until we stop you. So
there
now
it is.
you can see where we've exposed the road to code.
Scary.
So now that we know the SSID, we can go and try to connect to it. We don't know the password, but that's for a future episode on how to actually discover the password. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's talk about what just happened. Let me share my screen, Gerard. So there's this little website called draw.io and allows you to do diagrams online.
This is so cool.
They're not sponsoring us. It's just a free tool that I happen to use all the time. I use it for software diagrams. I use it for UML. I just want to plug this in because I make a lot of use of this. And you can pay for some features. I use the free version. I can save the files to my Google
Oh,
Drive.
yeah, I was gonna say, so when you make like a little diagram, you could save it too.
You can save it to your Google Drive. You can save it to your local drive. You can also export it as a PNG, JPEG, PDF, all that kind of
Wow.
stuff.
That's crazy.
So yeah, it's a really cool tool. Big props to these guys. I use it for free, so I want to give them a free plugin.
Shameless plug.
Not really a shameless plug because we're shamelessly using it for free all the time. But let's talk about what's going on in this diagram. So we have the internet. We have your router, which is called the cell spot. And the PC that you're currently using is connected via wireless. And then we have this Kali Linux laptop that is hardwired to your cell spot, right?
Uh-huh.
And we're using the Wi-Fi adapter on the laptop to monitor the airwaves. So all it's doing is just monitoring the airwaves. It's not doing anything. And then we have the road-to-code, which is yet another router, a Wi-Fi router that we call the road-to-code. And we gave it a pretty shameless password called capital P password 1 exclamation, thinking we're going to be pretty secure with that. In reality, nobody knows unless they drive by your house and they see this being broadcasted. But what you did is you connected your phone to that Wi-Fi. During the time that you're connected, the communication between the router and your phone is being done via the MAC addresses. It's no longer using the actual broadcast name. The broadcast name is for human readability only. The machines do not need it. In fact, it probably gets in the way. So it's easier for them to send information using the MAC addresses. And so during that time, we know that there's a connection with that MAC address going on, and that MAC address is always being broadcasted. However, everyone's devices, whether you have a laptop, a tablet, a phone, they're all trained to ignore MAC addresses when you initially connect. They're only trained to listen out for an SSID. So if it's not broadcasting the SSID, you're not going to see it in the list of available Wi-Fis. What we did is we turned this Wi-Fi adapter that sits on the Linux laptop, on Kali Linux, and we sent out a message. We broadcasted a message, and we told all devices, if you're connected to this road-to-code Wi-Fi, and obviously we don't know that it's called road-to-code, but we just said, if you're connected to this device with this MAC address, you need to de-authenticate yourself. Boom. And when you de-authenticate, go ahead and re-authenticate. So your phone, what it had to do, it says, hey, I'm looking for the road to code. And then the road to code says, I'm over here. And it has to broadcast its name while that handshake happens. Once the handshake happens, then the name is no longer being broadcasted, which is when we sent that de-authentication attack, we forced your phone to re-handshake with the road to code connection. And the road to code Wi-Fi was forced to broadcast its name momentarily, just long enough for us to pick up the name of that SSID.
Wow. That's pretty scary.
So by not broadcasting your SSID doesn't mean that you are secure. You're obscuring the name, but again, security by obscurity is not security. All you're doing is just playing hide and go seek. Kind of cool?
Yeah, that's crazy how it only happens when it has to re-authenticate too.
Yeah, exactly. So that's essentially what just happened there with this.
That's freaking crazy.
That's a lot of stuff. Now, granted, you're a typical user, even me, I'm not going to go and carry a Kali Linux machine around in order to be able to do this.
Yep.
It's a lot of work. I mean, for me to want to do this, I really want to do something unethical, but
Malicious.
the whole purpose, malicious, exactly. The whole purpose of this is not to show people what they can do maliciously. It's more about showing people how insecure their Wi-Fi's are by trying to do certain steps, which you may think you're securing your Wi-Fi. I'm not saying it's a bad idea not to broadcast your SSID. It's an excellent idea, but do not fool yourself into thinking that you're secured at that point. That's all we're saying. All right. It's just an added measure of preventing people from connecting to your Wi-Fi or attempting to hack into your Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
They can't see it. They're not going to be able to get in there unless they're using something like Kali Linux, which has the built-in tools to go and do the exposures. Like typical Wi-Fi user, they're not going to know. So.
Wow.
Cool.
Insane.
Cool. What's in store for our next episode, Gerard?
We are going to be using Kali Linux for some Wi-Fi hacking in our lab.
Again,
Yes.
for
But
the next one,
yeah.
we're going to be cracking the password.
Whoa.
I'm excited for that one.
That sounds like intense hacking.
It totally is.
After this, all the girls are gonna want me from computer
Dude,
hacking skills, nunchuck skills.
I thought they wanted you for your truck already, Gerard. I thought they wanted you for your truck already.
Nope.
Or is it for the Honda CRV?
It's the CRV,
It's the
obviously.
clearly. If people want to find us, where can they find us, Jonathan?
They can find us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at The Road to Code. And yeah, we're posting stuff on there. So go and find some of our bloopers and hidden gems that we post on them.
Yeah, we're starting to post the bloopers, blunders, and funny moments. And as we're going through and editing our videos, we're actually finding some gems of information that, even we forgot about. And we figured we would share with you guys on a short video, on a short take. Gerard, if people appreciate what we're doing, how can they show their appreciation?
You guys can head on over to buymeacupofcoffee.com/theroadtocode and buy us a couple of coffees.
Yeah.
Please. I need to stay awake for this stuff.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, until next time.
Sick.